What separates the super successful from everyone else? Not just wealth, but purpose, fulfillment, and joy. The path to achievement isn't a secret. Let's explore Napoleon Hill's Think and Grow Rich. It's not just about money, but mastering your mind. It's about the power of your thoughts and beliefs. The life you want starts with a thought. Join me on this journey. We'll explore 13 steps to success. Are you ready to discover the blueprint for a richer life? The journey starts now. The starting point of all achievement is a burning desire. It's not a wish or a hope. A burning desire is a raging fire, an all-consuming obsession. It keeps you up at night planning and wakes you up with renewed energy. Weak desires bring weak results. Cultivate a desire that is equally extraordinary. It has to become your magnificent obsession. What do I desire with such intensity that I am willing to burn all bridges behind me? When your desire becomes that powerful, you activate forces that will conspire to bring your vision to life. This is the foundational stone upon which all fortunes are built. Edwin C. Barnes, a young man with little money or education, had a burning desire. He wanted to be business partners with Thomas Edison. He was determined to get it, no matter the obstacles. He showed up at Edison's laboratory. Edison saw something in Barnes's eyes. Edison gave Barnes a job in his office. He saw this humble role as his foot in the door. He watched, he learned, and he waited. He was thinking his way into partnership with Edison every single day. The opportunity came in the form of the Edison dictating machine. This was the moment Barnes had been waiting for. He saw a revolutionary tool that could change business communication forever. He went to Edison and laid out his plan. He said, "I can sell this machine." Edison agreed. Barnes sold the machine so successfully that Edison gave him a contract to distribute and market it all over the nation. This partnership made Barnes a very rich man. Before you learn any other technique, you must find your Ediphone. You must identify that one definite purpose that sets your soul on fire. Once you have identified your burning desire, the next step, and the one that really breathes life into it, is faith. Napoleon Hill describes faith not in a purely religious sense, but as a state of mind which can be induced or created by affirmation or repeated instructions to the subconscious mind. It is, in his words, the head chemist of the mind. Think of your burning desire as a blueprint. It's a detailed plan for the house you want to build. But a blueprint alone is honestly just paper and ink. Faith is the chief contractor who looks at that blueprint and says, yes, this can and will be built. It's the unwavering belief in the attainment of your desire. This kind of faith is not blind hope, it's an active, dynamic force. It's the absolute conviction that the thoughts you hold in your conscious mind can be translated into their physical equivalent. When you mix the thought of your desire with the emotion of faith, it creates a powerful vibration that your subconscious mind accepts and acts upon. It begins to influence your intuition, your creativity, and your perception, guiding you towards the people, circumstances, and opportunities needed to achieve your goal. It's the internal certainty that neutralizes doubt and fear, the two greatest enemies of success. Hill emphasizes that faith is a state of mind that you can cultivate intentionally. This is honestly a revolutionary idea for many. We often think of faith as something you either have or you don't. But Hill teaches us that it's like a muscle. It can be developed through a specific practice he calls auto-suggestion. This is the principle of communicating directly with your subconscious mind by repeating affirmations, visualizing your success, and acting as if your goal is already an accomplished fact. By consistently feeding your mind with thoughts of success and belief, you starve the thoughts of failure and doubt. This process changes your entire mental and emotional chemistry. A mind dominated by positive emotions, led by faith, becomes a more receptive magnet for success. It becomes a fertile ground where the seeds of your desire can germinate and grow. Conversely, a mind dominated by fear, doubt, and indecision becomes a barren wasteland where no great achievement can take root. The choice is yours. You are the chemist of your own mind, and faith is the essential catalyst that turns the lead of ordinary thought into the gold of extraordinary reality. History shows how faith in an idea can shape the world. Mahatma Gandhi, without conventional power, possessed the idea of a free India. His unshakable faith in nonviolent resistance inspired millions. This collective faith overwhelmed the British Empire. Gandhi proved faith can move empires. Charles Schwab, a steel mill laborer, believed in himself and the steel industry. His enthusiasm propelled him forward. Schwab became the first person to earn $1 million salary and head of U.S. Steel. He inspired action and maintained unwavering faith in his vision. Belief in yourself is a tangible asset. So, how do we move from understanding faith to actually developing it within ourselves? Well, Napoleon Hill gives us a precise formula through the principle of autosuggestion. It all begins with writing down a clear, concise statement of your burning desire. This should include the exact amount of money you intend to acquire, the date by which you will have it, and, crucially, what you intend to give in return for it. Nothing comes from nothing. You must state what service or value you will provide. This act of writing it down makes the desire tangible and definite. The next step is to read this written statement aloud, twice daily, once upon rising in the morning, and once just before retiring at night. As you read, you must see, feel, and believe yourself already in possession of your goal. This is not a mechanical reading. You must inject emotion and feeling into your words. You are not just speaking to the air, you are giving a direct command to your subconscious mind. You are instructing it to begin working on the how, to start connecting the dots and bringing your desire into physical form. This consistent repetition is key. Your subconscious mind learns through habit. Just as you can develop a negative habit of doubt through repeated negative thinking, you can develop a positive habit of faith through repeated positive affirmation. By visualizing the end result, by feeling the joy and gratitude of its accomplishment, you are closing the door to fear and uncertainty. You are essentially tricking your mind into accepting your goal as a present reality, and your subconscious will then work tirelessly to resolve the conflict between what it believes to be true and your current circumstances. This is the practical application of faith. It's a daily discipline, a conscious choice to direct your thoughts. It's about being the guardian at the gate of your mind, allowing only those thoughts that are in harmony with your purpose. It may feel awkward at first. Your logical mind might resist. But with persistence, this practice will build a reservoir of faith so deep and so powerful that no obstacle or temporary setback can shake it. You will become a person who doesn't just hope for success, but expects it with every ounce of your being. Have you ever felt so close to a breakthrough only to give up? What if the distance between failure and success is just a few final courageous steps? This is the core lesson of persistence. It's not about never falling down, it's about getting back up, especially when the finish line is out of sight. Napoleon Hill shares a story of R.U. Darby and his uncle during the gold rush. They struck a rich mine, raised money for machinery, and early returns confirmed their success. But then, the vein disappeared. They quit. The story takes a fascinating turn, a turn that holds a profound lesson for every single one of us. The junk man they sold their equipment to called in a mining engineer to look at the mine before giving up, a step Darby and his uncle had failed to take. The engineer found that they were just 3 feet from the gold. The junk man extracted millions of dollars in ore from that mine because he sought expert counsel before giving up. This story haunted R.U. Darby for the rest of his life. He went on to become a phenomenally successful insurance salesman, and he attributed his later success to the wisdom he gained from that failure. He had internalized the principle of persistence. Persistence is more than just stubbornness. It is a state of mind, and therefore it can be cultivated. It's built on a foundation of a definite purpose, a burning desire, a clear plan, and a mastermind alliance. When these elements are in place, persistence becomes almost second nature. It's the fuel that keeps your engine running when the road gets steep and the journey feels long. It's the inner voice that says, just one more step, when your body and mind are screaming for you to stop. It is the bridge between your desire and its physical manifestation. Think about the forces that work against persistence. Lack of a well-defined purpose is the biggest enemy. If you don't know exactly what you want, how can you be persistent in its pursuit? Procrastination, indecision, doubt, and worry are the close allies of failure. They creep into our minds and poison our resolve. The criticism of others, especially friends and relatives, can also be a powerful deterrent. But persistence is the antidote. It is the shield that protects your dreams from the arrows of negativity and self-doubt. It is a conscious choice to focus on your destination, regardless of the storms you face along the way. The universe seems to have a strange way of testing us right before our greatest triumphs. It throws its biggest challenges at us to see if we are truly worthy of the prize we seek. Those who lack persistence simply crumble under the pressure, but those who hold on, who push through the pain and the doubt, find that failure gives up and makes way for success. Every great leader, from Gandhi to Edison, was a master of persistence. Their stories are not tales of unbroken success, but of relentless effort in the face of repeated setbacks. They understood that defeat is an event, not a person. So I ask you, where in your life have you stopped 3 feet from gold? What dream did you abandon because the path became unclear? The lesson from Darby's story is not one of regret, but one of empowerment. It teaches us that temporary defeat is not permanent failure. It is simply a signal to pause, to seek new knowledge, to adjust our plan, and to push forward with renewed faith. Cultivate the habit of persistence. Make it your closest ally. Because on the other side of that final effort, just beyond that wall of doubt, your gold is waiting for you. In our world, we often glorify the idea of knowledge. We're told from a young age that knowledge is power, but Napoleon Hill makes a crucial distinction that can fundamentally change the trajectory of our success. He argues that knowledge, in and of itself, is not power. It only becomes power when it is organized into definite plans of action and directed to a definite end. There's a vast difference between having a library of information in your head and knowing how to apply a specific piece of information to solve a specific problem. General knowledge, no matter how great in quantity or variety, is of little use in the accumulation of wealth. Think about the professors in our greatest universities. Many of them possess immense stores of general knowledge across a wide range of subjects. They are brilliant minds who have dedicated their lives to learning. Yet many of them have relatively little money. They specialize in teaching knowledge, but they do not specialize in the organization or use of that knowledge for practical financial ends. This isn't a criticism, it's an observation about the nature of knowledge. The value lies not in possession, but in application. A person with a deep understanding of one specific in-demand skill can often command a far greater income than someone with a surface-level understanding of many things. This brings us to the core concept of this chapter, the immense value of specialized knowledge. This is knowledge that is focused, practical, and directly applicable to your chosen field, profession, or purpose. It's the kind of knowledge that allows you to provide a unique service, solve a specific problem, or create a valuable product that others cannot. In an increasingly complex world, specialists are the ones who are sought after. They are the ones who can command high fees and build great fortunes because they offer something rare and essential. Generalists may know a little about everything, but specialists know everything about one important thing. There is no better illustration of this principle than the story of Henry Ford. During World War I, a Chicago newspaper published editorials calling Ford an ignorant pacifist. Ford, deeply offended by the label, sued the paper for libel. During the trial, the newspaper's lawyers tried to prove Ford's ignorance by putting him on the witness stand and grilling him with a barrage of general knowledge questions. They asked him things like, who was Benedict Arnold, and how many soldiers did the British send over to suppress the rebellion in 1776? Ford, who had little formal schooling, struggled to answer many of these questions. The courtroom buzzed. The lawyers for the newspaper seemed to be making their point. Here was this incredibly wealthy and powerful man, and he couldn't answer basic questions that a schoolchild might know. But then, Ford grew tired of the interrogation. He leaned forward, pointed his finger at the lawyer questioning him, and delivered a response that has become legendary. He said, "If I should really want to answer the foolish question you have just asked, or any of the other questions you have been asking me, let me remind you that I have a row of electric push buttons on my desk." He continued, his voice filled with a calm confidence that silenced the courtroom. "And by pushing the right button, I can summon to my aid men who can answer any question I desire to ask, concerning the business to which I am devoting most of my efforts. Now will you kindly tell me why I should clutter up my mind with general knowledge for the purpose of being able to answer questions when I have men around me who can supply any knowledge I require?" This response was a masterclass in understanding the true nature of intelligence and power. In that moment, Henry Ford proved that he was anything but ignorant. He demonstrated a profound wisdom that the lawyers, with all their general knowledge, had completely missed. He understood that true intelligence is not about having all the answers yourself. It's about knowing where to find the answers. It's about having the wisdom to surround yourself with people who possess the specialized knowledge you lack and organizing their collective brainpower toward a single, definite purpose. Ford didn't need to know the minutiae of American history. He needed to know everything about designing, manufacturing, and distributing automobiles efficiently and affordably. And that, he knew better than anyone. Henry Ford's story teaches us a vital lesson. You don't need to be the source of all knowledge. You need to be the architect of its application. The first step is to decide upon the kind of specialized knowledge you require, and the purpose for which it is needed. This purpose will be your guiding star, your why. It will determine what you need to learn and why it's important. Without a clear purpose, acquiring knowledge is like hoarding tools you never intend to use. It might feel productive, but it doesn't build anything. Your purpose gives your learning direction and meaning. Once you know what you need to learn, you must identify reliable sources for that knowledge. This could be your own experience in education, but more often than not, it will come from external sources. It could be through colleges and universities, public libraries and special courses, or, most powerfully, through a mastermind alliance, a group of individuals who possess the knowledge you lack. The truly successful person knows how to acquire knowledge from others and organize it into a practical plan. They are not an island, they are a hub, connecting various streams of expertise into a powerful river of action. It is crucial to understand that the accumulation of knowledge is just the beginning. The world is full of educated derelicts who have degrees and certifications but lack the ability to apply what they know. Your knowledge has no real value until you can organize it and put it to use in a practical way. This means creating a definite plan. How will you use this knowledge to provide a service, solve a problem, or create value for others? This is where imagination comes in, a topic we will explore later. You must see in your mind's eye how your specialized knowledge translates into tangible results. Finally, remember that learning is a continuous journey. The world is changing at an incredible pace, and the specialized knowledge that is valuable today may become obsolete tomorrow. The most successful people are perpetual students. They are always reading, always asking questions, always seeking out new information relevant to their purpose. They have a growth mindset, seeing their intelligence and abilities as something that can be developed over time. So, commit to being a lifelong learner in your chosen field. Your ability to acquire and, more importantly, apply specialized knowledge is one of the most critical steps on your path to riches. Napoleon Hill discovered that successful people share the habit of making decisions promptly and changing them slowly, if at all. This is the dividing line between drifting and driving. Decisiveness creates opportunity and erodes doubt. The successful know that you create the perfect time through your decision to act. Developing the habit of decisiveness starts with small things. Each firm decision builds a muscle, training your mind to trust your judgment. Now, when I say that successful people are decisive, this doesn't mean they are rash or impulsive. They gather facts and listen to the opinions of others. But here is the key. They listen, but the final decision is theirs alone. One of the biggest reasons for indecision is the habit of being swayed by the opinions of others. We seek validation. We worry about what people will think, and we allow the fears and doubts of our friends, family, and colleagues to become our own. This is a fatal mistake on the journey to success. Henry Ford, in that same libel suit, was a perfect example of this. He made the decision to create a low-priced, dependable car for the masses, the V8 motor. He instructed his engineers to produce a design for an engine with all 8 cylinders cast in one block. The engineers insisted it was impossible to do. Ford said, "Produce it anyway." They worked for months, trying and failing. Every expert said it couldn't be done, but Ford's decision was final. He didn't waver based on their opinions, he simply held his ground, demanding results, not excuses. And eventually, as we all know, they found a way. This is what Napoleon Hill means when he says that to be decisive, you must have your own mind and use it. You must keep your own counsel. Form a mastermind group of trusted advisors to give you information and perspectives you may lack, but reserve the final authority of decision for yourself. The moment you start letting the opinions of others dictate your choices, you surrender your power. You become a ship without a rudder, tossed about by the changing winds of popular opinion. True leaders listen, but they are not swayed from their core purpose by the chorus of doubt. This leads us to one of the most powerful examples of decision in all of human history, the signing of the Declaration of Independence. On July 4, 1776 in Philadelphia, 56 men put their signatures on a document that they knew could mean their own death warrants. They were making a decision not just for themselves, but for the future of a nation. They were up against the most powerful military force on earth. The risks were astronomical. There was no certainty of success. but they made a decision. They decided that freedom was a principle worth dying for. Imagine the atmosphere in that room. The weight of the decision was immense. These were men of means, with property, families, and reputations to lose. By signing that document, they were committing an act of treason against the crown. Failure meant the gallows. There was no turning back. They had to burn their bridges behind them. This is the ultimate form of decision-making, when you commit so fully to a course of action that retreat is no longer an option. It is in this space, at the point of no return, that you unlock your greatest power. The decision made by those 56 men was not a single event, but the culmination of a process. It was born from a burning desire for liberty, fortified by faith in their cause, and sustained by a persistent demand for freedom. They had formed a mastermind alliance, the Continental Congress, to give their decision collective power. Their decision was not a whim, it was a deliberate, calculated, and courageous choice. It was a choice that unleashed a force that eventually won the freedom for every American citizen. The United States of America was born from a decision. This historical event holds a profound lesson for our own lives. The decisions that shape our destiny often require us to be bold, to step into the unknown, and to risk failure. When you make a definite decision to achieve your great purpose in life, you must be willing to stake your entire existence on that decision. You must be willing to say, "This is what I will do, and I will see it through to the end, no matter the obstacles." This level of commitment sends a powerful signal to your subconscious mind and to the universe. It says you are serious, so look at your own life. Where are you being indecisive? What choice have you been postponing out of fear? Understand that your destiny is shaped in your moments of decision. The power to choose is your greatest gift. Use it. Be definite. Decide what you want, create a plan, and then act with the unwavering conviction of those 56 men. Know that your success in any undertaking is in exact proportion to the definiteness of your decision. Make your choice, burn your bridges, and never look back. That is the decisive edge that separates dreamers from doers. When you connect with someone on a deep level, something magical happens. It's exponential. This is the essence of the mastermind principle. It's about creating a third invisible mind, a shared consciousness. Think about the energy when a group of people are truly in sync. That energy is tangible. It's a force that can move mountains. This principle is one of the most powerful secrets to success. We live in a culture that often glorifies the lone genius, but the truth is, no great achievement is ever accomplished alone. Behind every visionary is a network of support. When we blend our minds with others, we tap into a source of infinite intelligence and power. So, I invite you to reflect on your own life. Who is in your mastermind? To grasp the power of the mastermind, consider Henry Ford, Thomas Edison, and Harvey Firestone. They were a formidable mastermind group. Ford in automobiles, Edison in invention, and Firestone in rubber. Together, they were an unstoppable force. This is the mastermind, a coordinated effort that transcends individual capacity, built on trust and shared values. Be intentional about your inner circle. Seek those with complementary skills and shared values. The power they harnessed is available to you now. Stop trying to do it alone and build your alliance. How do we actively build our own mastermind? First, gain clarity on your chief aim. Your mastermind must form around this vision. Identify the knowledge, experience, and attributes valuable in achieving that aim. Think of it as your personal board of directors. Select members carefully. Quality is more important than quantity. Look for positive, supportive, action-oriented people. The chemistry of the group is paramount with trust and openness. Establish a structure for meetings and agreements on how to support one another. A successful mastermind operates on reciprocity. Give as much value as you hope to receive. The true power unlocks through harmony, avoiding criticism and ego, creating an environment where the collective mind flourishes. Within you is a workshop of infinite potential. This workshop is your imagination. Napoleon Hill speaks of two forms of imagination, synthetic and creative. Synthetic imagination arranges old ideas into new combinations using experience and observation. Creative imagination receives inspiration and new ideas. It's a direct link to infinite intelligence. Understanding the distinction unlocks your full potential. To achieve extraordinary results, tap into your creative imagination. Your subconscious mind accepts imagined thoughts as real. It works tirelessly to bring your blueprint to reality. What are you choosing to create? Napoleon Hill used a powerful technique for stimulating imagination and impressing desires upon the subconscious mind. He called it his invisible counsel. Each night, before sleep, he'd hold an imaginary council meeting with admired figures like Emerson, Paine, Edison, Darwin, Lincoln, and Ford. He would close his eyes and see them seated around a table with him. He would call upon each member for the knowledge and wisdom he wished to gain. He would address each member in turn, focusing on qualities he wanted to emulate. This was an active, focused act of creative imagination. He was building desired characteristics into his character, impressing them upon his subconscious. He was programming his subconscious with the very essence of greatness. Create your own invisible council. Before you sleep, hold a meeting and ask for their wisdom. Imagine their advice. Feel the qualities you admire flowing from them into you. Your subconscious mind is a vast, fertile garden, always receptive. It grows whatever seeds you plant without judgment. Seeds of fear yield a life of worry. Plant seeds of faith and desire and reap a beautiful harvest. The subconscious responds powerfully to thoughts mixed with emotion. Supercharge thoughts with desire and faith to sink deep roots. Autosuggestion, repeating affirmations with feeling, is potent. Daily habits of thought are key. Be a gatekeeper of your mind, focus on your purpose, visualize success, and feel gratitude. Practice daily, especially before sleep and upon waking. Plant the right seeds with clear, emotionally charged instructions. Your subconscious has no choice but to follow. You are the creator of your inner landscape and thus your outer reality. Napoleon Hill identifies 6 basic fears that can paralyze our dreams: poverty, criticism, ill health, loss of love, old age, and death. These fears manifest as indecision and doubt, blocking our path. Recognizing them is the first step to dismantling their power. By naming them, we separate ourselves from these mental patterns. It's about understanding fear and acting in spite of it. Where do these paralyzing fears come from? Napoleon Hill traces them back to indecision and doubt. Indecision is the fertile ground and doubt is the seed. When you hesitate, you create the perfect environment for fear to grow. Doubt whispers, questioning your ability. Indecision crystallizes into doubt, becoming a chronic state. You lose trust in your inner compass, inviting the 6 basic fears. Every moment of indecision feeds the anxieties holding you captive. Making a decision cuts off the life supply to doubt and fear. It's a downward spiral that shrinks your world. Break the cycle with a conscious act of will. Build momentum towards certainty. Cultivate decisiveness. Exercise your certainty muscle, telling your subconscious you are in control. Reclaim your power to create the life you desire. You are the absolute ruler of your own mind. While you may not be able to control external circumstances, you have sovereignty over your thoughts. Fear, doubt, and indecision are internal states that you allow. You are the gatekeeper of your mind, deciding which thoughts enter. Controlling your thoughts is the master skill. Like a gardener, pull the weeds of fear and plant seeds of faith. Think of your mind as a kingdom. Your conscious mind is the ruler. Issue decrees of abundance, courage, and success. This is the pinnacle of self-mastery. You are the architect of your destiny because you are the master of your thoughts. The prevailing mindset in the pursuit of success has long been that of the go-getter. Napoleon Hill guides us to a more profound model of success, the go-giver. This is a shift in perspective. Instead of asking, "What can I get?" the go-giver asks, "What can I give?" The value you receive is in direct proportion to the value you provide. By focusing on giving value, you naturally attract success. The go-giver builds a reputation that becomes their most valuable asset. Embracing the go-giver philosophy requires a deep sense of purpose. It becomes a joyful expression of your purpose. Wealth becomes the natural byproduct of a life well lived and generously given. In the go-giver economy, service and value are the primary currency. Money is simply the receipt for the value you create. To get more, create more value. Focus on improving your service. How can you do better, reach more people, solve bigger problems? This applies to every field. The path to receiving more begins with giving more. Your work is your gift. Pour your heart into your service. The value you create will flow back, bringing wealth, fulfillment, and opportunity. Before any task, ask, how can I add the most value? Shift to a state of contribution. Become a fountain of value. Abundance will flow to those who are indispensable sources of service. In a world of constant change, what assets are permanent? Napoleon Hill says your specialized knowledge and your skills are enduring riches. Investing in yourself is the greatest investment you can make. Knowledge and skills become a part of you forever, creating new opportunities. Lifelong learning is a necessity. Be a perpetual student, refine your abilities, and increase your capacity to create value. Become the most knowledgeable, skilled version of yourself possible. By investing in your abilities, you create an inexhaustible well of value. Your knowledge and skills are riches no one can take away. We've journeyed through these incredible principles, and now we arrive at the central unifying truth that underpins everything Napoleon Hill taught. It is a truth so simple and yet so profound that it holds the key to transforming your entire life. Riches in every form begin as a thought. Your success, your happiness, your reality is not born of circumstance but of consciousness. It all starts in the invisible, energetic realm of your mind before it ever manifests in the physical world. This is the starting point of all achievement. You have absolute, unequivocal control over your thoughts. This is your ultimate power. In a world full of things you cannot control, your mind is your sacred, sovereign territory. How will you choose to use the incredible power of your own thoughts, starting today, to consciously shape the destiny you truly desire? The power is yours. The choice is yours. The time is now. Subscribe for more life-changing insights.